Once upon a time, in a small Italian village, there lived a kind but lonely carpenter named Geppetto. Every day, he carved toys and little wooden animals, but he wished for one thing, a son to love. One evening, he found a special piece of pine wood and decided to make a puppet. He carefully carved the head, the arms, and the tiny wooden legs, smiling as the puppet came to life in his hands. He named the puppet Pinocchio and whispered, "If only you were a real boy." That night, Geppetto placed Pinocchio on the table and went to sleep. Suddenly, a gentle blue light filled the workshop. A beautiful fairy appeared, touched the puppet's head with her wand, and whispered, "Be kind, be brave, and always tell the truth." Pinocchio slowly opened his wooden eyes and moved his little hands. "Father! I can move," he cried. Geppetto woke up, shocked and overjoyed. He hugged Pinocchio tightly, tears shining in his eyes. The next morning, Geppetto gave Pinocchio a small book and said, "Go to school, my boy. Study hard, and one day you will be real." Pinocchio skipped happily through the sunny streets, carrying his book and dreaming of becoming like other children. The little village was full of music, laughter, and colorful flowers. Everything felt magical and new to him. On his way to school, Pinocchio met a sly fox wearing a green coat and a clever cat with a striped hat. "Forget school," said the fox with a sly grin. "Come with us, and you will be rich and famous." Pinocchio hesitated but followed them, dreaming of gold and adventure. Little did he know, the two were planning to trick him. The fox and cat took Pinocchio to a grand puppet theater filled with bright lights and red curtains. The puppet master saw Pinocchio and was amazed by how real he looked. "Dance for the audience," he ordered. Pinocchio performed happily on stage, and the crowd clapped and cheered loudly. But soon, the puppet master locked Pinocchio in a cage. "If you want to be free," he said, "bring me gold." That night, the blue fairy appeared again and asked softly, "Why aren't you at school, Pinocchio?" I was kidnapped." Pinocchio lied nervously. Suddenly, his wooden nose started to grow longer and longer. The fairy smiled gently and said, "Every time you lie, your nose will grow. Be honest, little one, and you will find your way." Pinocchio finally tried to return home, but Geppetto had gone to sea searching for him. Pinocchio built a small raft and sailed across the ocean, calling for his father. Suddenly, a gigantic whale leaped from the deep blue water and swallowed him whole. Inside the dark belly, Pinocchio heard a familiar voice. "Father," he whispered. "Pinocchio," cried Geppetto, hugging him tightly. Inside the whale's belly, Pinocchio and Geppetto thought hard. "Let's make a fire," Pinocchio suggested. The smoke made the whale sneeze so loudly that whoosh! They were blown out of its mouth into the open sea. Clinging to a wooden plank, father and son drifted safely under the stars. Back home, Pinocchio promised to study hard, help his father, and always tell the truth. He had learned that courage, kindness, and honesty were more valuable than gold. The blue fairy watched quietly from the window, smiling softly. One magical morning, Pinocchio woke up and realized something wonderful. His wooden body was gone. He had become a real boy. Geppetto hugged him tightly, tears of happiness streaming down his cheeks. From that day on, they lived happily together, their hearts full of love and hope.
谢谢大家收看，创作不易，喜欢我们影片可以订阅支持我们，我们下一期再见。